Hello there, let's just cut straight to it. The Battlefront Classic Collection is out, which contains Battlefront 1 and 2 remastered. Now, if you wanted to buy this collection for the online multiplayer, which is 32v32, 64 multiplayer matches, please hold off. The online component of this collection right now is broken. It barely works. When I search for a match on Battlefront 1, it won't find a game, so I go in to search the servers, and there are 3 available. 3. Swap over to Battlefront 2 and matchmaking doesn't work at all. Now, the main thing that people were excited for with this collection does not work properly at launch, and that was the online multiplayer. So if you were planning on buying it for the online to get online and play with your friends and everything, just wait, because it just doesn't work. The almost non-existent servers aside, if you do get into a match, there have been texture issues, server lag, some of the controls flat out don't work sometimes, the Starfighter controls can't be changed to invert or non-invert. There are a multitude of issues just going on. The achievements on Xbox were completely locked and said that they weren't supported yesterday, and then today they're actually available. The sound is also not the best. I know it's a weird thing to complain about, but you know the absolute classic loading screen of the original Battlefront where it zooms in slowly onto the planet? It now just sounds different. It sounds degraded. And there's also apparently cutscenes missing in the single player mode as well, and the list just goes on. Now on the flip side, speaking of the single player, the offline stuff, it's actually been okay. It's been pretty good. I played a bunch of Galactic Conquest last night on Battlefront 1, and it seemed to be working fine. You know, it looks great, it feels alright once you can sort of dial in your sensitivity properly. It's a little bit screwy at the moment. Also don't like that you can't really remap the buttons to a more modern setting, but I'll live. Now, Galactic Conquest was my favourite game mode back in the day. I played that more than anything else, and it's the thing that I actually want to play the most with this collection. So the online issues aren't bothering me as much as other people, but I still can't sit here and say that, oh, it's all fine and dandy, because the online is just completely broken and atrocious. I swear Battlefront is just cursed at this point. Even remasters can't launch without an issue. Now, Aspyr has put out a statement. It reads, "We'd like to thank the Battlefront community for their overwhelming support and feedback for Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection release. At launch, we experienced critical errors with our network infrastructure. The result was incredibly high ping, matchmaking errors, crashes, and servers not appearing in the browser. Since launch, we've been working to address these issues and increase network stability, and we will continue our efforts until network infrastructure is stabilized to prevent further outages. Please continue to report bugs, errors, or unexpected behaviors to our support team via our request form, the Aspyr team." The thing that gets me though is that there was really no need to rush this, you know? This thing was only made public not that long ago. We had no idea this was coming, and they really should have had everything nailed down before launch, because there was nothing really at stake with this, if you get what I'm saying. Like, if this was Battlefront 3, you'd want everything to be great, because the first 2 launches of the first 2 games have been pretty terrible. But there was no need to rush this out in the state that it's currently in. Now, I have been very critical of Aspyr lately. This was the team that was originally in charge for the KOTOR remake before it was taken off them and handed to Saber Interactive. And geez, I can see why it was taken off of them now. And it's not the first time that this team, Aspyr, has had issues with a port. I remember, I want to say Jedi Academy, when they ported that, they had the servers were absolute dog shit for that game, and like they were offline for months at a time, and they dragged their feet with fixing them. I think it was that game anyway, I might be misremembering, correct me if I'm wrong. Now, long story short, if you wanted to get this collection for the online play, please hold off. Keep an eye on it to see if the situation improves, especially if you're on console. And if you want it just for the single player stuff, I do think you'll be okay and you can get some fun out of it once the jank is sorted out with a few things here and there. But I really just cannot sit here and recommend you go out and spend your own money on this thing. But if you are aching to spend some money on something Star Wars though, Dark Forces Remastered came out a couple of weeks ago and it is phenomenal. It runs fantastically, it plays smooth as butter, and it's just so damn fun. I can't recommend that game enough. And I can't recommend this one really at all at the moment. Again, keep an eye on it. If things improve, maybe, but right now it is not worth your time or money. That's all from me for now though. Thanks for watching. Make sure you follow me here, subscribe, like, all that good stuff, and play Dark Forces. It's really good, and I hope that team does more remasters because they're a lot better at their job. But as always, may the Force be with you. Always.